You're welcome to another edition of Footprints. In this video, we're going to be sharing with you on a very crucial matter, the matter of choosing a life partner. As singles and in your marriage, choosing a marriage partner. The Bible says in the book of Proverbs 18:20 that the man who finds a wife finds a good thing. She's a blessing to him from the Lord. But we found out that nowadays deciding on who to marry is becoming confusing, difficult and frustrating, even in church. Meanwhile, God says that we enjoy our marriage, and we don't even enjoy that decision. We enjoy it fully if we follow spiritual and scriptural principles from His words. Pastor Femi, what do you think?
Choosing and deciding on who to marry does not necessarily need to be difficult, frustrating, and cumbersome. That's not the mind of God for us. The mind of God for us is not that decision will be difficult to make, both in church and outside church. If we follow spiritual rules, if we follow biblical guidelines that God has given to us in making that decision. If you are planning to make this decision or you're already in a relationship, you will need to follow through this video. I will take you through 10 spiritual guide and principles that should inform singles' choice of who to marry.
Choose prayerfully.
Okay, the first thing to do concerning how to choose who to marry is to choose prayerfully. The book of Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 14 says, "House and wealth can be inherited from parents, but prudent wife comes from the Lord." Okay, so the first thing to do is to make the matter a matter of prayers, a matter of deep prayers. Several times what singles do is to make the matter a matter of their mind alone. They just write the kind of person they want to marry and they keep carrying the list up and down, reviewing the list in their mind as if it's grocery they want to go and shop, as if who to marry is somebody they can go to ShopRite to go and look for. Okay, so the first thing is to make it a matter of prayers. Abraham was sending his servants to go and look for a wife for his son. The first thing that man did was to make it a matter of prayers. Okay, so if we care to pray, God is sure to guide us and lead us in the entire process from the beginning to the end. What's more, God knows the best for our life, even more than you do. So if you make it a matter of prayer, then it makes it simple, it makes the process fruitful, even from the beginning.
Okay, you said we should choose prayerfully. When should we start praying? As a single person, I want to get married. Okay, maybe I even have my statistics, I have my choice, I have how I want my wife to be. When should I start praying? Is it at this point of seeing the lady or the man?
Okay, at which point do I start praying? A boy who is in primary school should not be praying about, "God, help me to pass my JAMB." That doesn't make sense. Okay, because there are several things you will need to do to get to the point of passing JAMB. So you can't start praying for God to help you pass your JAMB while you are still in primary school. That prayer is off. Okay, I see a lot of people dominating their mind, getting worried about who to marry when they are not even closer to that point. Okay, I have some of my people that I've had them even get into a relationship while they were in year 1 in the university. You are just getting to school and you are praying for who to marry. That's not your priority then. That's not what's next on your plan. what you should be bothering about is how to maximize your stay in school. Okay? So don't start dominating your thought and prayers about who to marry when God has some other things that is important for your life. Okay, so you start praying when you know you are sure you are closer to that time that you are ready for it. Well, that is not to say that a man cannot start to pray. Well, if opportunity comes his way, if he's in the circle of people who are praying, but that prayer must not dominate your thought when you are not ready to get married, because it's going to be a distraction, really. Okay, so that's at the point at which you need to begin to pray.
When you are ready.
Okay. What's the next thing that we need to do?
Choose spiritually.
Okay, you have to choose spiritually. Because a lot of times, what we focus on is the physical issues surrounding the issue of the marriage. And the first thing to do to choose spiritually is to make sure that the man and the woman that you are going to marry is a Christian. Okay? The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14 says, do not be unequally yoked with an unbeliever. Yes, people say that scripture is not talking about marriage. Yes, the scripture is not talking about marriage, but the same principle applies. If you read through chapter 14 and chapter 15, you will discover that the Bible specifically says that what relationship has got to do between light and darkness, what is there between Christ and Belial, what's the relation between unbelievers and believers. Okay, 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 39, it says, a widow is free to marry whoever he wants to marry. That means a widow, a single, is free to marry, but it must be in the Lord. So the first thing is to be sure is that the man or the woman you are going to marry is a Christian. That's a personal relationship that is growing in that relationship. It is important to be sure, because both of you will need to be on the same page spiritually. Apart from that, you will have to be sure that you are not just focusing on physical statistics. You will have to focus on what Peter says in 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 3 to 4 says, your beauty should not be of external virtue, but of inner beauty that does not fade away. Okay, so you will have to look more than the things that you are physically seeing. If you concentrate on physical issues alone, statistics change. Physical statistics change over time. So if you say the man I want to marry or the woman I want to marry must be tall, must be short, must be not too fat, all of those statistics can change as time changes. Okay, so you'll have to make who you want to marry a matter of deep spiritual consideration, because actually that's what's going to sustain you for a long time in that marriage. Not just the physical consideration, but the spiritual and that's to start with the fact that this brother you want to marry, this star you want to marry, is he really born again? Does he have a relationship? And sometimes when I confront brothers and sisters about who they are bringing to me they want to marry, well, they can't answer me straight. They can't give me straight answer. They will tell me, well, he's going to church and all of those things. The church today is at best a mixed multitude. You have to be sure that, and if you can't test, bring that decision to the people who can help you to test, to be sure that whether that brother is born again or not, because the church at best today is a mixed multitude.
Okay, I have a question that stems from that. You have the case of people that pretend to be spiritual.
Yes, that's why I said you have to test. And if you don't know how to test, because a man might be singing in the choir, he might be speaking in tongues and still may not be born again. People learn the rhyme today in church. Okay, people have learned to speak spiritual language, they have learned to talk spiritual way, they have learned to walk spiritual way, and at the end of the day, we can be sure that all of those things are just pretense. I have a terrible case some years ago. A sister walked up to me and said he wants to marry a brother. And I said, are you sure he's a Christian? He said, yeah, he's sure. I said, okay. bring the brother to me, let me have a chat with him. But before I know it, the brother has moved into the sister's house, and they've done an arranged marriage. In 2 months, that brother started to drink and to do every kind of horrible things. Tried to beat the sister, really. Okay, that she almost died out of that relation. Of course, that relationship didn't work. The sister almost lost her life. She didn't come out of that crisis until she died. And that's why you'll have to test to be sure that the brother is a growing Christian. Nobody is asking you to marry an angel because you are not one yourself, but you have to be sure that it's growing. Okay, what's the next thing?
The next one we have is choose lovely.
Okay, you have to choose, obviously, the brother or the sister you love. And I have to explain that what the Bible calls love is not what we interpret as love today. Sometimes our own understanding of what love is a little bit different. Okay, but let me say that there has to be some emotional connection between you and the man you want to marry, the brother you want to marry, the sister you want to marry, because all of us are emotional beings. But you see, if it's just a matter of feelings, if it's just a matter of emotions, sometimes feeling comes and go. Okay, so I've been married for a while, and I'm sure that if I marry my wife because of feeling, I will not be in this marriage today. I'm sure that if she married me just because of feeling alone, she will not be here, because somewhere along the line we feel like not it again. The feeling has gone and has come back. But ultimately, the feeling you have for that brother, for that sister must graduate into commitment. So love is not just feeling, it's commitment. This is what the Bible says. Romans chapter 5 and verse 8. This is how God demonstrated his love for us, that while we are still sinners, Christ died. So love is not just feeling, it's a commitment of the will to a brother or to a sister. Okay, 1 John chapter 3 and verse 16. This is how we know love is. That Christ gave his life for us, and that we must give our life for our brethren. In Genesis 29, remember the story of Jacob and Rachel. In verse 20, Jacob served for 7 years for Rachel because he loved her. At the end of the day, they gave her Leah, the senior sister. But because of her love for Rachel, he had to serve another 7 years again. In verse 30. That's what love is. Commitment to stick to a brother or a sister through thick and thin, when things are good and when things are not good. So while it can start with feeling, while it can start with emotion, it has to go beyond feelings, obviously. You have to choose based on the fact that, are you ready to commit yourself to this brother? Are you ready to commit yourself to this sister when the chips are down? If you can't make that decision, because so if you say, well, I love this sister because she's beautiful, what if something happened to her and that beauty disappear? If you say, I love this brother because he's rich, what if something happened and the wealth just disappear? You say it cannot happen. Well, sure, nobody prays for that, but it does. It does happen. Okay.
Next one is choose purposefully.
Yes, when as a single you are planning to choose who to marry, you will have to first ask yourself, what's my purpose? Because if you go marry or you go choose somebody that your purpose is not aligning, you are likely to have a challenging relationship. Okay? And when singles are thinking about who to marry, they don't consider purpose. They don't consider what their vision, what their purpose, what their assignment in life is. Purpose must first be discovered before you can walk into relationship. I often use this example. A prophet and a politician cannot marry because they are not headed towards the same direction. Okay? Because a prophet is called to the life of proclamation, while a politician is called to the life of compromise. Amos 3:3 says, can two walk together except they agree? 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 5. Paul said, are we the only one that cannot take a believing wife along with us? That means once you marry, you must align, adapt, adjust your purpose either with your husband or with your wife. That's why you must make sure that you are headed the same direction. And you will need to test that out, because what is going to carry you far into that relationship, into that marriage, is your purpose together. Okay, so make that, and you'll have to have discovered your own purpose too. As a brother, you'll have to have discovered your own purpose too. As a sister, before God brought Eve to Adam, He has already given Adam purpose to live for, and that's what Eve was coming to join. Okay, so you have to discover your purpose, and you have to choose who you want to marry purposefully.
Next one we have here is choose honorably.
Okay, choosing who to marry must be done honorably. I see a lot of singles choosing who to marry in the midst of confusion, strife, and contention. You want to choose who to marry, you are fighting your brother, you are fighting your parents, you are fighting your pastor. That's not honorable. It is not honorable that you are in the process of choosing who to marry and you're already sleeping with yourself. Hebrews 13 and verse 4 says marriage is honorable. And you have to start to lay that honorable foundation for yourself. Actually, Hebrews 13 and verse 18 says, you want to have a conscience towards God and live honorably before men. So you'll have to choose who you want to marry honorably. You don't have to get yourself involved in confusion. You don't have to get yourself involved in strife. You don't have, even if your parents are not agreeing to who you want to marry, there is a way that you need to go about it, that you don't have to get yourself involved in confusion, strife, and fighting everybody over who you want to marry. Because remember that after marriage, you will not take your wife to go and live in the moon. You will still have to live among the people that you are fighting. Okay, so it has to be an honorable choice that is not violating spiritual rule. It has to be an honorable choice that is not creating confusion, that is not creating strife. Okay, so people are already moving into the house of the people they want to marry even before the marriage. They are already living with themselves. That's not honorable. Okay, so the choice must be done honorably, so that you won't have to battle with confusion and crisis as you go in that relationship.
Okay. We have another one. Choose accountably.
Yes, the choice of who you marry is not something you keep from people that matters. I've watched single choose who they want to marry secretly. You're hiding it from your parents, you're hiding it from your father, you're hiding it from your mother, you're hiding it from people that matters, people that have had their stay in your life. And when they are trying to ask you, you're saying, leave me, I know what I mean. What is it that you are doing that any other person that is close to you cannot get to guide you? There are people who have been in marriage for 10, 15, 20 years. People who have gone through their own crisis, who God has helped along that road. People who are qualified to be counselor, who are qualified to make input into that relationship. You must not hide that relationship from them. You must get the input of people that matters, like your pastor, somebody who has spiritual oversight over you. Your parents who raise you up while you are growing up should be given a measure of should give a measure of input into who you marry. Okay, so that's why you must marry. That's why you must choose accountably. The book of Proverbs 14:12 says there is a way that seemeth right, but the end of it is destruction. Okay, sometimes you think you're on the right road, but the input, the wisdom of some people can help you to discover challenges with that relationship. Actually, I discovered that every secret relationship will usually end in 8 out of every secret relationship will end in confusion. So it is better for you to have somebody superintend over that relationship for you. Somebody help you to navigate that process for you. The book of Proverbs 15 and verse 22 says, in the multitude of counsel there is safety. Okay, so you've got to look for counsel of the people that you trust their judgment. Yes, it's not everybody can speak into that matter, but you must have the guide and the counsel of the people that you trust their judgment over your life. Don't go ahead and make decision without the input of the people that are qualified to speak into your life and into that relationship.
Choose wisely.
Okay.
Choose wisely.
You need a lot of wisdom when you are choosing who to marry. That's why you have to choose wisely. I hear people say, well, the Lord told me who to marry, I saw a vision, I had a voice, and all of those things. So they just walk blindly into that relationship because of all of that. Yes, I agree that you may hear a voice, you may see a vision, you may see a dream. You may actually be sure of what God is saying concerning that brother or that sister, but that does not mean that you should switch your mind into neutral. That does not mean that you should not ask questions, and you should not seek for knowledge. Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is the principal thing. You must seek wisdom. Okay? So when you are in a relationship, Proverbs 22 verse 3 says, the prudent, the wise, sees danger ahead and avoid it, but the foolish walks into it. You are seeing a clear danger signal in a relationship that you are in, and you are still walking straight ahead into it. That's not wise. Okay, so you'll have to check. It is wise thing to check for danger signal in a relationship you are trying to settle down with. I had this story. A young couple got married, and in 2-3 months there was already crisis in their house. The brothers was already smoking, beating the sister, gambling with the money in the house and with the property in the house. And when they asked, and they got married in church, when they asked that sister, I said, well, I actually saw all of those signals, but I just felt that it was going to change. Okay, so that's not wisdom. And I'm not saying anybody cannot change, but we equally have to see the evidence. We have to see the proof that that brother or that sister is going to change. If every time you are in a relationship, every time you get together, you are fighting, you are quarreling, more than you are getting along together, all of those things are danger signals that you cannot do. Wisdom requires that you don't ignore all of those danger signals. Okay, so when you have to choose, make sure that you are putting your mind to work. God is not asking you to switch your mind into neutral in every relationship. Just like you put your mind to work in every other thing you do, God expects that you put your mind to work in a relationship that you are trying to settle down for.
You talked about danger signals.
Okay.
Can you give us examples of danger signals to look out for?
Okay. It is wise to look out for a danger signal, like you are in a relationship, the brother is always bullying you.
Okay.
that's a danger signal. You are in a relationship, the sister is not ready to be accountable. That's a danger signal. You are in a relationship, the brother is
domineering.
Yes, is domineering. It's like that kind of thing will likely end up in control spirit. You are in a relationship, the brother has a violent temperament. I have a sad experience some years ago. One of my daughter wanted to get married, so she brought the brother to me, and okay, I have issues with that relationship. So 2 weeks to that marriage, the invitation card was already out, and I was having a private session with her. So I asked her, what's your fear about this relationship? I said, Pastor Femi, my fear? Yes, I said, I want to know. He said, if that brother is hungry, he's slamming the door, he's banging the table, he wants to hit me. So I told her, sister, if you can't cancel that wedding, go and suspend it. Let's deal with this issue. And she said, Pastor Femi, 2 weeks on the wedding. I said, yes. I have my invitation card on your table. I know it's 2 weeks. But this issue, we cannot just ignore it. Okay, she said, okay, I'll go and speak with the brother. The following day, she called me and said, Pastor Femi, we have agreed to go ahead with the marriage. We've settled it. And I said, well, good luck to you. 3 months later, the marriage collapsed beyond repair. As I'm talking to you now, they are already both married to different person. So it is wise for you not to ignore danger signals, regardless of what you think you had concerning that brother or sister. Okay, it is wise.
So, the next one we have is choose personally.
Yes, whoever you are going to marry must ultimately be your own personal decision. Your pastor can have input, your parents can put input, your prophet, your discipler can have input, your counselor can guide you. But ultimately, who you marry must be your decision, because you are the one that's going to live with that brother. You are the one that you are going to live with that. You are the one that God will hold accountable, not your pastor. You are the one that God will hold accountable, not your father, not your mother. Okay? Proverbs 18 and verse 22 says, he who finds. So even God expects you to find. And when you are finding something, when you are looking for something, you don't switch your mind into neutral. You are using your mind. Okay, you are getting involved in the process. So who you marry must ultimately be your decision. Romans chapter 14 and verse 5 says, each man must be fully convinced. You must have a personal conviction about it. It must not be just the conviction of your prophets. One day we were in church and we were having a marriage, and I asked a sister, how did you get to know your husband, the man you married? Through information. I said, which information? My prophet. I said, oh, madam. And when I look at that marriage, I see them having so much challenges in that marriage.
Wow.
In Genesis 24, verse 57 and 58, the servant of Abraham got to the house of the family of Rachel, and after the servant of Abraham had spoken with the parents of Rachel, 57 said, let's ask Rachel if he's going to go with this man. And they asked her, will you go with this man? She said, yes, I will go with him. Okay, so you must not settle down for somebody that you don't have personal conviction for, because you are the one that God will hold responsible. You are the one that will ultimately live with that brother or with that sister. You can get the input of several people, but you must be sure that you have personal conviction concerning who you are going. So it must be a personal choice, not somebody else's choice that you are going to marry.
I have a question there. Choosing personally. There are some times that maybe the spiritual mentors, your pastor, that sometimes pastors could be funny. Maybe the brother is resourceful, useful for them in the church. They don't want the sister to leave their church, and they're trying to kind of matchmake, or impose or ram down somebody.
I know that
What can the person do?
we have different kinds of cases like that. People want pastors want people to brother and sister to marry from their church. They want brother and sister to marry from their denomination. If the bride is coming from an outside church, and then they will frustrate it. They have a brother in mind and they want to matchmake with a particular sister. They have a sister in mind, they want to matchmake with that. All of those things are not good and they are not godly. Okay? You will be overstretching your role when you are trying to compel a brother or a sister to get married. That's not part of your role. Your role is to help them to navigate that process to the point that they are sure and convinced that, and there's no point trying to frustrate anybody because they are not from your church or from your. Once you are sure that they are believer and they are growing in their relationship with Jesus, I think every person should encourage their brother and sister. That's not enough reason for you to discourage somebody from marrying a sister in your church or a brother in your church. But once you see that the brother and sister in question is growing in his relationship with Jesus, and I think you should encourage them to go ahead with that relationship.
Okay. The next one we have is choose discerningly.
Okay. You will have to know the brother and the sister you want to marry beyond the physical. And that's why part of your prayer you should pray when you are praying is, God, reveal this sister to me. Reveal this brother to me. Because you see, for instance, Cain killed his brother and God put a curse on Cain. God put a mark on Case. A sister who is going to marry brother Cain will be part of his curse. Unless God reveal to you the heart of that brother or that sister, except God revealed to you the spiritual challenge behind the brother. It may look good in the physical, but you have to be sure that you are making it not just a matter of logic, but equally a matter of discernment. What's discernment? Discernment is the spiritual ability to make good judgment. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 14 says, the natural man cannot receive the things from the Spirit of God because they are spiritually discerned. So, you will have to make it a matter of prayer. And like I said once again, if you don't know, bring that decision to people that can help you to check it. If you don't have the ability, you can bring it to people that help you to check it. Okay. The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 13 says, even the angels of darkness can transform into the angel of light. Okay? So, and you may have a situation in your hands where you are dealing with that kind of situation concerning the person you want to marry. So you'll have to be able to choose using your discernment, so that you are not going to you are not going to be deceived into that relationship. It is important.
The last one we have is choose faithfully.
Okay, you have to choose by faith, because at the point of choice, the brother may not even look like it. The sister may not even look like it. When I got married to my wife, I was not looking like it. I was not looking like it myself. What I mean is, if what my wife is seeing in the physical is going to use to make a judgment on whether to marry me or not, I'm sure we are not going to be married. Because I was a missionary in the bush without any externalities that could get me attracted to her. Okay? But I'm sure that her decision to marry me is equally a faith decision. that everything that God has said concerning this man, God will work it out.
Sorry, in fact, I remember that my dad said, he did not see any other man.
The very first time my wife took me to her father, the man just said, Mike, come. And she took her inside and said, you didn't see any, this man cannot take care of you. And when she came out, I saw her face change. Okay. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7 says, we walk by faith and not by sight. Sometimes at the point of choice, everything about that brother may not have been fully manifest. Everything about that sister may not. But you'll have to submit to it by faith, because Hebrews 11:6 says without faith it is impossible to please God. Faith is an element that must be crucial in every decision that we are taking. Okay, so if you shut down a brother because he's poor today, do you know what that brother will do? You know what God will do with that brother's destiny? If you shut a sister because she's not looking good to you today, do you know what God is going to do with the life and the destiny of that sister? That's why you must not just make your choice carnally. There must be an element of faith in the decision that you are making. I see that we start saying, I want that brother to settle down. I want him to have 2-bedroom flats. I want him to have a car, to have a good job. While there's nothing wrong with all of that, I'm saying that at the point of choice, all of those things may not be there. In fact, I remember that the day I was getting married, the very day I was getting married to my wife in church, we didn't even have a roof over our head. I didn't have a place of my own that I'm going to take my wife to after that marriage. Okay? But we look back to what God has done in our life between that point and now. We can boldly tell you that God has honored our faith in that decision. Okay, so when you follow all of these scriptural guidelines, I'm sure that choosing who to marry will not be a challenge. Well, I said at a point that you have to choose personally. That will be your personal decision, because God said, "He who finds." Okay. In the next video, I'm going to be telling you what you are to look for in a man or a woman that you should choose as your marriage partner. Because if you are going to find, there must be something you are looking for. There must be something you want to see. And several of our singles don't know what to see. They don't know what to look for. And that is why it's important for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification button, because so that when that video is ready, you can be alerted for that video. If you are already in courtship, I'm going to put a link in the description so that you can check on the message on the rules of courtship. If you are in courtship and you don't know the goals of courtship, you don't know the rule of courtship, you are not aware of the pitfall of courtship, you are likely not to make a good use of your courtship decision. You may just end up wasting up that time. So please make sure you subscribe to this video. Make sure you click on the notification button. And please share. Please share with your singles friend. Share with your single brother and single sister. This may go a long way to help them and help them handle the confusion surrounding the choice of who they are going to marry. Thank you, and God bless you. Hey friends, I know you've been blessed by this video. I'd love you to share it from whatever platform you are viewing it from Facebook, from WhatsApp, or from YouTube. I'd like to encourage you to go to our YouTube channel so that you can view several of our videos that is specifically designed to help us in our walk with Jesus. This is a small revival labor at raising end-time army for our nation and for the nations of the world. You can be part of this effort by just sharing, by just passing on the video to your friends and to your family. God bless you as you